All right, let's move along to the National Football League as we head into week number 2 of action, and we will start 1:00 on Sunday on CBS. It is the 1-0 Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to the 1-0 Cincinnati Bengals, who are a 3.5-point home favorite. You're over under on this one, 49.5. EJ, we'll start with you.
Yeah, the the Bengals, man. I mean, they scared their lives. On top of like Burrow not playing great. What was the kicker's name in the Browns that missed 2 field goals late? I mean,
the wins where you get it, man, especially in week 1.
Yeah, but look, a win's a win. And last year they weren't getting those. This year on the better end of that. But look, I expect the Bengals to bounce back in a big way this week. Although I still question the Jaguars, who they are. Like, hard to assess when you're playing Carolina. Like, what are we doing there?
We thought them were.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take Cincinnati to cover 3 points here. I'll be surprised if they even don't cover or lose altogether. Take Cincinnati points here, and you know what? I will take an over.
Hey man, here's the deal. This is only the second time in the last 6 seasons the Cincinnati Bengals have started 1-0. So if you're a Bengals fan, don't matter how you do it, you take that win and you run with it. There's no style points in the NFL.
Bro, after last year, trust me, I'm sure they're taking it now.
Heck yeah, Sean.
I mean, there may not be style points, but the Bengals sure as hell are glad that there aren't. Yeah, if cats have 9 lives, they are down 1. Poor Joe Flacco. But yeah, in this particular one, battle of the cats here. The Jaguars. I spoke last week about how I think this is a team that's improved. I think it's a team that could make a push. I'm not sure they showed it to me in week 1. Like, I know you took care of business. If there's one thing we learned in that game, it's that the Panthers are worse than the Jaguars. That's what I learned. But the Jaguars ran the ball well. I don't think Trevor Lawrence looked impressive. If it's a matter of timing, if it's getting Hunter up to speed, building a play-action game, I don't know what it is exactly that they need to work on. Maybe it's just football. Whatever it is, I don't think this is the week to do it. Running the ball well is cute, but I think you're going to have to throw against Cincinnati because the points are going to be there. I think Joe Burrow feasts a bit more in this one. I don't think it's going to be quite as blowout, happy as people think, because I think Jacksonville's defense is a little better than people think it is. But yeah, there's no reason why that they shouldn't be able to cover the 3 or 3.5. And I too will take the over, because I do think maybe with the lack of defense in Cincinnati, we see Brian Thomas Jr. wake up. Maybe Hunter gets his first one of his career. I feel like either way, something should break with that. The defense in Cincinnati is a good recipe for it. So give me Cincinnati, give me the over. I think those are both good bets.
Yeah, I think let it ride. Cincinnati, I think, gets the win here. The Jaguars, they looked good enough anyway in week 1 against a lesser opponent. This one, I think that the Bengals are better. We're talking about a team that wants to make that push this year to get back to the Super Bowl, and in an AFC that may be a little more open-ish than we thought going into the season with whatever's happening in Kansas City. Bengals want to keep the winning going. But yeah, the defensive woes are still there, I think, on both sides of the ball. So I will take the over. I'll take the Bengals to win. Devin has the Bengals.
Ooh,
the over there. All right, Sunday, 4:05 Eastern time.
Walk like an Egyptian, Devin. Walk like an Egyptian.
Yeah, we go to the
Denver Broncos.
The 1-0 Denver Broncos could have looked better, but they got the win as well. So much like Cincinnati, you just take the win and run with it. 2.5-point road favorite at a surprise 1-0 Indianapolis Colts. Your over-under on this one is 42.5, EJ.
People ask me how I feel about Daniel Jones' first performance. Like, it's a good kid, man. I'm rooting for the kid. He does well, we got
a Daniel Jones is the GOAT.
There you go. Go to bed. Time to go to bed. Take a melatonin, please. And go to bed.
The kid's on the path to failing 8th grade science. Don't listen to him about Daniel Jones.
Oh no!
I'm kidding.
So after obviously
He's a
we have
good
to
kid.
after the obvious game of the year, game of the week, we call Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl rematch. This is to me probably the game of the week because Denver is to me, in my opinion, Denver is a little overvalued, in my opinion. A little overvalued, in my opinion. Indy is that team in the South that if what we saw on Sunday was more about Indy being good and Miami being bad, I think it's the latter. I think Miami is still is there's issues there, but the AFC South is so wide open in a sense.
This guy sucks.
Like Houston is solid, but they're not dominant. So,
Right.
To me, this game is going to say a lot about is Indy that spoiler team in that division? Because I don't know. So there's things I saw on Sunday that had me thinking, this may not be an anomaly. So I'm going to take the Colts win this game here. I think Denver's a little overrated. But the best bet in this game, honestly, is the under. These are two really good defenses here. So take the under in this game, definitely.
All right, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the Colts team that people expected to see in Week 1. Of course, it wasn't the Miami team that people expected to see in Week 1 either. But I don't know. It's a lot of question marks there. Obviously, Daniel Jones. Is this resurgence? Is it just a new environment, a better culture, a better line? I was talking to someone before the season about how I kind of like the Colts. But I meant with Richardson, and then I had to retake. But they said, well, Jones doesn't have Neighbors anymore. I was like, well, that's true. He does not have Malik Neighbors, but there are some pretty good offensive pieces here on the Indianapolis Colts. Let's not forget they have a fairly top-tier running back there and a nice rookie behind him. You got a couple of good wideouts and now a big rookie tight end as a safety valve. I don't know. Denver, people love the offense. People love Bo Nix. But what I saw in Week 1 was a pretty good defense in Tennessee really sort of contain that offensive show of Denver. And I think this is a slight upgrade. I think Indianapolis is a much better defense than Tennessee. I think the whole team's more refined. And I'm going to call it Daniel Jones 2-0 coming out of this week. The Indianapolis Colts will not only cover that 2.5 points, but they will win outright. And I'm with EJ, though. I think it's going to be back and forth, but it's going to be a lot of field goals, maybe a touchdown, maybe a late missed 2-point conversion. I think this game's just under.
Yeah, Devin has the Broncos in the under. Yeah, a definitely sneaky good game in Week 2 that we probably didn't think was going to be very good at all. We probably thought Denver was going to be better. We thought the Colts were going to be a lot worse. I had Riley Leonard ending up as QB1 in Indy in very short order, and that definitely doesn't look to be the case. So a lot of surprises, things that were reminding us that we don't know what we don't know, and because it's Week 1 and nobody plays in the preseason, we still don't know what we don't know. Hopefully we'll learn a little bit more this week. But I'm going to go with the hot hand, the proverbial hot hand here. And I'll take the Colts to cover that 2.5 to get the win, improve the 2-0. And yeah, I'll take the under as well. Bo Nix and company did not look great. And the Colts did put up some points. But again, I think that also leans to what Miami isn't this year. So I will take the under, even in what is usually a pretty low number there for the NFL.
When I was out watching the games, I told him, I was like, Danny must have finally gotten himself 10 dimes because he just gave us 4 quarters. The first time in his career. First 4 quarters.
Way out of line, buddy. Way out of line.
What do you mean way out of line? That's hilarious.
All right, we go then to Sunday night, 8:20 Eastern time on NBC. It's the 0-1 Falcons, who looked good despite the loss, traveling to 1-0 Minnesota, who was a 4.5-point home favorite coming off the comeback win in Chicago last night. 45.5 is your over/under in this one. EJ.
Yeah, this is going to be a sneaky good game too. Also, Penix, as I said earlier, looks fantastic in his first.
We got the quarterback rematch of the 2024 national title game.
Yes, McCarthy.
That's
Penix.
true. I hadn't put that together. That's definitely a cool storyline.
By the way, I think we cannot downplay what McCarthy did last night. against Chicago in that spot. Your first start on Monday Night Football against a division rival. I know Chicago, and people think, Chicago's whatever. It's still in Chicago against a rival on Monday Night Football as a rookie. That's a, and then you're down double digits in the first half. You're not playing well, and then you turn around in the fourth quarter. That's a big moment for him there too. So, Minnesota, it's a tough game because I think Atlanta's pretty good. I don't think they're great. I just think they're frisky. So I'm gonna take. Yes, there you go. I'm gonna take Minnesota. Minnesota's at home, so I'll take Minnesota at home field advantage here. Take the Vikings to slightly cover. Was it 4 points? You said 4.5 points.
4.5. Yep.
4.5 points, and the over under is 44.5. I will take the over. Actually, the best.
All right, very good, Sean.
Well, I hate saying EJ's right, so I won't.
Just say it. Okay. I'm not offended, buddy. Love you too.
Shut up. No, I was going to say the same thing about J.J. McCarthy. I think that ability to turn it around.
Get your mouth shut.
And he didn't do it alone. I think it felt like the Minnesota coaching staff just, I don't know if they saw something. I don't know if they felt something. But when you're having a struggle and your quarterback's down and things look bleak, having a guy on the field that has big playability can turn a game around. And I know it seemed like they loved Mason all day. They seemed to just ride the hot hand, 6-8 yards a carry, But Aaron Jones showed in the second half what he can do with one touch. And I think, that being a pass play, that gave a lot of confidence to the kid. And I think that he showed more poise. I think that in the fourth quarter he looked good. And I think the Vikings are going to ride that. I do. I really want to pick the Dirty Birds here. I feel like it's time to step in and give Mike Penix his first win, but I don't see it. I think Bijan's going to have a hard time up the middle. I think he's going to have to do a lot in the passing game. There's going to be a lot of checkdowns. You might not have a London. We'll have to watch that closely, but I think all things point Minnesota here. Give me Minnesota, like EJ said, cover that spread. And yeah, I think between the two teams, this should be a pretty easy over.
There's a lot of agreeing here, too.
What's that?
There's a lot of agreement here between Sean and I tonight across the board.
Yeah,
EJ,
weird.
Sean?
You've made fun of my jokes. Now you're comparing me to you. I'm going to come over there.
Hold on. I complimented your joke. I like your joke.
I thought you told me to stop.
No, I like the joke. It was great.
Oh, well, then it wasn't a good one.
See, I can't win, bro. I can't.
Yourself.
Now you're getting it.
Yes. Now he gets it.
This guy gets it.
Yeah, look, a very tough situation to walk into with your first start. But if you have watched J.J. McCarthy as much as I have over the past 4 football seasons, you know that performing better as the game goes on is nothing new for J.J. McCarthy. It's just kind of what he did in Michigan. And when you have a quarterback that if the game is close that you can trust. I mean, it's how many times do we hear them talk about, they gave Tom Brady too much time and there was 1:40 left on the clock, and Jalen Hurts, it feels like a guy that if the game is close, if you're within 9 or 10 points with 5 minutes to go, you believe that you're probably still going to win that football game. Like, it doesn't matter what you do the first 3 if you can keep it close enough to put yourself in a position. And I get it was 1 week. I'm not sitting here putting J.J. McCarthy in Canton after last night, but he did extremely well when the likes of Colin Cowherd and Richard Sherman and others were tweeting that the Vikings had made a huge mistake letting Sam Darnold walk, and J.J. McCarthy showed up and showed out to a lot of those people. So I will say the Vikings keep that winning going for another week. I think they do cover that 4.5. Nothing against the Falcons. I think they are going to be improved, but this is going to be a stumbling block along the way. But yeah, I think the offenses do get rolling in this one on Sunday night. So I will take the over as well.
And I think the big thing the Vikings did in the last quarter of that game, as much as we can praise the offense, the defense turned on the juice too, because there was a point right at the end of that third quarter where all of a sudden Caleb Williams, who was having a very good game, he couldn't do anything. They couldn't get the ball out of his hands quick enough. It was night and day from the third to the fourth.
Yeah,
So,
credit to Ben Johnson and company. Their first game as the coaching staff there in Chicago, but that was the best and most. It
was a tale of two situations: the first three quarters versus the last one.
Yeah, I mean, and even in that fourth quarter, it's not that Caleb Williams looked bad. I would say even in that fourth quarter, he looked better than he did at pretty much any point last year.
He looked a little more grown up.
Yeah, definitely looked much improved. That Bears offense looked more like what we saw out of Detroit the last couple of seasons.
Ben Johnson effect.
Yeah,
I don't think Caleb was that bad last year. I just think he didn't match the hype of what he came in. Obviously, number one pick. We expect him to reach a certain level. He didn't reach that. Now, if he was like the 10th pick in the draft, he kind of met it. But he's not.
All right.
Then he wouldn't be on the Bears.
Last one, we go to the first of two Monday night games. I think this is the only time.
Are you a fan of that, Jim? 2 Monday night games? Are you a fan of that?
Not really, but my Chargers are playing in the late game, so
I love it. Your Chargers, I love it.
I'll be a fan of it this week. But we start Monday night, 7:00 Eastern time, ABC and ESPN. It's the 1-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They travel to 0-1 Houston, who's 2.5-point home favorite. The over under is 42.5. We did have a Bucks will beat the Texans in the comment from one of your students there, Sean.
Right, from the Njupa supporter earlier. So yeah,
makes sense.
Egbuka, and Njupa. I lost track of syllables.
Homer.
Yeah, Homer.
All right, EJ, who you got?
This is gonna be a slobber knocker. Look at the two coaches, Pete Carroll against Jim Harbaugh.
We're talking.
No. Other one. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the other game.
Yeah, it's the late game on Monday.
I got into the whole Charger thing with you a second. My bad.
It's okay. We'll forgive you. We'll forgive you.
This is actually one of the weekend too.
Nobody.
This is actually one of the sneaky good games of the weekend too. Also, like after you look at the first two games I mentioned, this one too. Also, Houston again. Who is the Texans? Who are they? Like we're still trying to find
They're
out.
a football team, EJ. They play in Houston.
Who the hell is this?
Very true. And CJ Stroud, I'm a big fan, but kind of off. Not quite off the cliff, bad, but he's definitely regressed from the rookie year a little bit. Let's just put it that way. He's not ascending like he was in his first year. So this is a big game for Houston. I mean, look, they probably that game against the Rams was nip and tuck, and 14-9. What are you gonna do? Rams are a really good team. This is a tough game, man. I don't know which direction to go in this one. I'm gonna take to me the best the over, honestly, because it's that low.
Sure.
And Baker Mayfield, if he could get on the heater at any point, God, I'll take Houston at home, but that's it. Here's my advice for this game: stay away. Don't bet. Just stay away across the board.
I mean, you can touch the over. If you're going to do it, touch the over. Don't touch any of their game lines.
If you're compelled or you're a degenerate, like my buddy Zach is, or me sometimes.
You're nothing but a degenerate.
Look, we all have it in ourselves. We just
fucking game. That ain't happening.
Don't touch it. All right, Sean.
Yeah. I mean, obviously CJ Stroud struggling. The Houston Texans struggling. Big thing here is that people you're going to talk about Stroud versus Mayfield. I think this is a battle of two very good up and coming head coaches. I mean, obviously the Buccaneers have a little bit more experience with Bowles than Ryans, but I love Ryans as a coach. But I say, the big thing in this one is, what's my over-under number that you guys keep praising?
42.5.
That is pretty low.
For these two teams, yeah.
I mean, they're really hanging their hats on these defenses because these are both very good defensive units. But, I mean, the Buccaneers, you have Mike Evans. We saw Egbuka. You should have the return of Chris Godwin, at least from what I'm hearing.
I believe.
You could potentially see Chris Godwin there. All of a sudden, Egbuka gets to work out of the slot on a nickel corner. Baker Mayfield could have a little fun here. I think he has fun every time he plays, and that's why he's fun to watch. But Yeah, I think C.J. Stroud's going to settle in. I mean, he's also had some receiver woes. You come in, Christian Kirk's getting praise. He's the new 2. He obviously lost his friend Tank Dell to an injury last year. They replaced him with Kirk. Now Kirk's hurt. But you saw Xavier Hutchinson kind of getting some reps. I think either way, you're going to end up with more reps for the guys behind, and you get a chance to practice with them. Or we might get the early return here of Christian Kirk. And either way, I think that offense wakes up. So I think the over is a very good bet in this game. And unfortunately, though, for my man CJ Stroud and for the future of my Dynasty Fantasy League, it's going to have to wait another week because I think Tampa rolls in this one. Give me Tampa to win, cover, whatever they need to do. I think this is going to be primetime games, not usually totally lopsided, but give me double-digit win here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And you pick Indy in their game against Denver, right?
I did.
So we're looking at 2-0 and 0-2 situation there.
Correct.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and those head-to-head games are going to become.
I have to start calling them as I see them, EJ. My preseason predictions are not going super well in that division, but the ironic thing is this is the first season in a long time I haven't rode the Colts. So here they go.
You did 2 years ago, though. That's
I
a
did.
surprise.
Called
That's a surprise, and it worked.
It sure
Well,
did,
it worked until
EJ.
it did.
It worked until it didn't.
Yeah, until we just the inevitable.
Yeah, it's usually how my car rolls. All right.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Sean here. I think Tampa didn't look tremendous on Sunday, but they got the win. You're going to get some pieces back. Week 1's about shaking the rust off, and I think Tampa's just the better team here. Even if Houston was kind of at full strength and everything's clicking, I'd probably still pick the Bucs. But I don't think everything's clicking in Houston yet. So I think the Bucs win. I think they win pretty easily. And getting into that double-digit thing is pretty possible. I will take the over as well because it's so low. If it was in the 45, 49 range, I'd probably lean under because I don't know that Houston's going to score a ton of points, but they'll score enough to combine with Tampa here. So, Bucs get the win and move to 2-0. Texans are going to have some stuff to figure out coming out of this week here.